Hello. This is about the history of science fiction films. It parallels that of the motion picture industry as a whole, although it took several decades before the genre was taken seriously. Since the late 1960s, major science fiction films have succeeded in pulling in large audience shares, and films of this genre have become a regular staple of the film industry. Science fiction films have led the way in special effects technology and have also been used as a vehicle for social commentary. In the 1920s, it displayed a distinct difference from American cinemas in Europe. European filmmakers began to use the genre for prediction and social commentary. In Russia, the film Aelita discussed social revolution in the context of a voyage to Mars. In Germany, one of the most important pioneers of science fiction was the expressionist Fritz Lang. His 1927 film Metropolis was the first expensive film ever released up to that point. Set in the year 2026, not so far from now, it included elements such as an autonomous robot, a mad scientist, a dystopian society, and elaborate futuristic sets. His 1929 work Frau im Mond, or Woman in the Moon, came as the silent film era was coming to a close and notably introduced the idea of counting down the time to a rocket launch.
Welcome to Go Game Go Science Fiction Edition.
Kind of gave me chills. Awesome.
Who let that brick guy in? I don't know. What was that all about?
From? All right, we got me, we got Stuart, we got Bar, we got Papa Pete. We're ready to go.
Yes.
Since this is a huge genre, we're just going to talk about some of our favorites this time around.
That's what she said.
We'll do more episodes of Sci-Fi in the near future.
That is
so how you guys doing?
Genre you got there.
Good. Very good. Glad to be here. Glad to be anywhere.
Have you? It is good to be somewhere, isn't it? One day we won't be here.
That's right. So enjoy it while we can.
Of all the somewheres, this is the
talk
best.
about movies.
What's shaking, Bar?
I started making this list about 3 hours ago in a rabbit hole. I have 2 pages on notes on my phone just filled, and I don't know what to pick. Because how do you narrow that many down to 3 or 5 or whatever
That's crazy.
without a hallway to go down? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. That's kind of why I talked to Jeff about that earlier today, because I'm like, we need a focus here because I don't want to do a disservice to all of the films in the genre. There's just so many.
Oh yeah,
So,
and they categorize well, but
yeah. And Jeff and I decided I think we'll do a periodic sci-fi show, maybe one, like a movie night every 6 months will be a sci-fi, and we'll break it down into some other breakdowns.
Some other fascinating way.
right.
Breakdowns.
It's time for a breakdown.
Down the breakdown.
Oh, we should have started with Tom Petty. Come on and give it to me.
We should have had him on the show.
Ah, wait a minute.
Speaking of
That
science,
would have been
That would have been
science
sci-fi, all right. Yeah. Supernatural. Started off with a seance.
Started out with the same.
bring it back. Bring a bunch of people back.
Okay, so there's your question of the night. Then
Who
we'll
do you
have
want
to
to
talk
have as
about that. Who would you bring back?
the seance of anybody? Like any celebrity?
Any celebrity?
In sci-fi?
I don't know. Who would you bring back and put into a sci-fi film? Who would you bring back, put into your favorite sci-fi film?
Well, my favorite.
Carrie
I
Fisher.
think I'd bring Elvis back and have him be Kylo Ren.
So that's what you mean. Not
I mean,
somebody
they
from
couldn't
your
screw
favorite.
the film up anymore, so.
It's not
Hey,
bad.
Lance. Good to see you, man.
And besides, could you imagine all that angst with a little bit of smash, her man, and just smashing that helmet like a baby, freaking on the wall? I mean, come on, who hires Kylo Ren? Really? I mean, come on. This is my rant to start the show.
He's a
Who
tough
hires
guy.
this guy? Because he beats the shit out of your station. We got to clean up on elevator 22 in the East Wing. God, that guy's a baby.
He's
Tell him
very
to
hard
knock
on
it off. I
equipment.
would, but he'd kill me.
Tough on equipment.
I'd bring back Mr. Roper.
There you go.
Who would he be?
He'd be Watto in the Phantom Menace.
Not a lot of makeup.
Almost none needed.
Only if he stops and looks at the camera and just starts laughing.
I get to see it now. Yeah, no, Qui-Gon. I can't release Shmi as my slave. I like her too much as my slave. And the grin.
Oh man!
Why does it always turn to Mr. Roper?
Well, we still got room for Charles Nelson Riley. So several weeks ago, I found my space pen that I had lost like years ago.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those you can
Like
write
on
upside
Sci-Fi?
down, under whipped cream, the whole deal. And right before the show, I lost the space pen on Sci-Fi night. I don't even know where it is.
No
I'm
way.
using this stupid thing. Look at this. This is dumb. I can't write upside down with this.
What?
Why didn't
Where
they
it
just
went.
use a pencil?
What?
Why didn't they just use a pencil?
That's one of my favorite stories about the Russian astronauts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just use a pencil.
Yeah. That's so funny.
How stupid is that we have to try to figure out to get ink to float some other way?
You're just using a pencil.
A whole lot of lead going on here. Just, anywhere.
Give them a box of golf pencils and, they can let them float all over hell or just grab one out of there.
Golf pencils.
Hey, George.
George,
JD?
he's got to vote for Fat Elvis.
Oh my God, yeah, fire out space nuts. I'm
So what-
shocked though.
wait a
nobody-
minute.
Go ahead.
If you brought back Bob Denver, instead of Far Out Space Nuts, what would you put him in? How about Doc from Back to the Future?
He'd be good.
What if you made him Marty, and then you brought the skipper back to life too, and made him?
Skipper.
Yeah.
He'd be great.
Just make him the bully. What can I say his name? Biff.
Oh, Biff.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
skipper would be Biff.
Has that guy done any other films?
Yes. Tom Wilson, right? Is his name?
I don't know.
He was actually one of the stars in Wing Commander 3 and Wing Commander 4, which is not films, but he's been all in other movies as well. Not too many, but he was in those 2 video games with Mark Hamill. Yeah. He was Maniac. Is that his name?
It must be pretty cool to be in like a series of movies that are so popular. You could just be done with the whole thing. I'm done.
Right.
Like
did it done.
Like Charlie from Willy Wonka. He was done.
One and done.
Yeah, really. And he's a veterinarian now, huh?
Yeah. That's also the way it was with Augustus Gloop, too. He was one and done.
Well,
yeah.
I can't see what his name is here, but that's the guy.
Augustus Gloop.
Gilligan's Island meets Fallout Space Nuts. That'd be awesome. Yeah, the Bizarro twin. That's great. That's great.
The Ghost and Mr. Chicken. Is that a sci-fi?
Oh, I love that. I have it on Laserdisc.
That might be a good thing. Discuss movies that maybe some people don't consider sci-fi, but others do.
Well, yeah. In some of the text that I skipped, that gentleman skipped at the beginning, was talking about taking books, and of course they were talking about Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. That's science fiction. And also they mentioned H.G. Wells, Jules Verne. But yeah, Mary Shelley, and then Robert Louis Stevenson's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That's science fiction stuff.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear the story of Frankenstein? How it came to be with her? Her and her husband went on vacation with another couple, and there's some crazy cut-ups there. They decided for fun they were going to have a writing contest.
Oh.
And she ended up writing. I'm sure a much shorter version, but she ended up writing Frankenstein during their vacation of writing. So try that the next time we're on vacation with another couple. Why don't we all sit around and write a short novel?
What a turn on.
We're going to play bags. We're going to play quarters.
Oh, so romantic. We wrote a book each. So cool. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. James Cameron.
Sarah
Rockwell.
That was on Drunk History. Has anybody watched Drunk History?
I've seen it before. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them are really funny, and some of them are like, yeah, whatever.
Just fall flat. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them seem a little contrived. But Ice Pirates. How about Ice Pirates there?
Oh boy.
I can't see.
Is that even worth putting gloves on?
What?
I mean, that's like a no-brainer right there.
Blade Runner versus Rise of the Skywalker.
2 absolutely fabulous movies.
Unless that's their porn versions, then that could be a different thing. Pete sex tape versus Blade Runner. But no, I mean, that's a no-brainer right there. That's Rise of Skywalker. I won't ever watch it. So that's as close as I get. I have this nightmare, this reoccurring nightmare, that I'm going to fall asleep one night after the Canadian lines have been opened again, and I'm going to wake up in Canada with my eyes
taped open, strapped to a
like
chair.
A Clockwork Orange.
and that Disney Castle's going to come on, and Rise of Skywalker. No,
you've never watched it.
I never will.
No, but you never have.
Ever.
Call you Pat the NES punk. I will not look at it, but I will trash it.
Enemy Mine That reminds me.
Yeah.
I finally got it out of the collection to show you guys. This is Star One. I've talked about it before on here, and this is the one where it has all the different songs from Ari and Anthony Lucason's favorite science fiction from outer space. So that's how you decide the difference. And then here's the second album, which would call Victims of the Modern Age, was the second one that they put out. And this is all earthbound science fiction. So so you have Liftoff, which is about Doctor Who, Set Your Controls, which is about Doctor Who. Yeah. And you got Outland is on here, and this is the one that's got Star Trek 4, a song about it. Star Wars, Enemy Mine is one of them. And, of course, 2001, A Space Odyssey. So, but Logan's Run, I would love to have him do a song about Logan's Run or an album. I'd love to write an album.
It hasn't been very long since I watched it. It still holds up. I really do enjoy it.
Yeah. Me too.
Did a video on it a couple weeks ago because one of his favorite boys, and he did a video on this, and it was a good video, entertaining. You know, he's got different versions of it and stuff. And this is, I do believe, I don't know how many hundreds I have now, but this may be the very first DVD that I ever bought back in the 90s. And yeah, I remember picking it up, and it was back. Of course, these are the old. They don't make it like this anymore, I don't think. Yeah. They did with the old cardboard flip or the plastic flip over the basically cardboard cover. And it's an old dual-sided widescreen full frame DVD, right?
I hate those dual-sided ones. I told you about how I got screwed on that once, right?
No.
Because I bought Goodfellas and it was double-sided, and I ended up watching I watched the last part of the movie. And in like 40 minutes, it went to the credits, and I'm like, what the hell?
I'm like, you're like, well, this is a weird way to start a movie.
So I don't mind that. You know, I'm the guy who read the first Hunger Games.
Yeah.
And then I started reading the second Hunger Games, speaking of science fiction and dystopian futures. And I started reading the second one, and I'm like, I just read all this shit. So I put that book aside, and I pulled out the third book and read the beginning of the third book, and then I went back and read the second book.
Yeah, we've bored Papa Pete so much he just got up and left.
He just it was either that or my comments about Rise of Skywalker.
I think it was probably Rise of Skywalker.
My feelings are hurt. I'd let the cat out.
But I do have a copy of that Logan's Run as well, and then I just bought it on Blu-ray not long ago.
But that right there, like, it's not dual-sided because it's a long movie. It's got widescreen on one side, full frame on the other, right? Standard on one. Which I never like. I always like the widescreen, right?
And that's partially the reason why I named Logan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Stuart, speaking of Logan, I was playing this game that uses Mii's, you know, like from the old Wii and the Wii U.
Yeah.
And I only have like 4 of them on. They're just me, silly, and the kids. And so I went to my Wii U because I was like, I'm gonna see if I can bring the rest of them in. And I bring them in, and I've got a Mii of you, Chris, and both your kids.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So now they're on my Switch.
That's awesome.
Some of these were I got my mom and dad. They're from like 2006. These things are 15 years old already. It's hilarious.
We haven't aged a bit.
Bring them in again?
What's that?
How did you bring them in again? Because we had old ones, which I have no idea where the Wii even went.
Well, you have to get them from the Wii to the Wii U, and then you use then you use an amiibo to get them from the Wii U to the Switch.
Oh wow!
God.
But you can only save one Mii at a time, so it's kind of a pain in the butt. But
still, that's amazing.
Oh, really? That's it?
That's what I did at lunch.
Wow, I feel honored that you brought my whole family over one at a time.
Mm-hmm. It was a pain, but it was worth it.
We are a pain, and we are worth it. Yeah. So no, Logan's Run. I don't know, man. That might make my viewing this weekend. I have Friday night. I got a busy week, so Friday night is my night off, and I'm going to relax with some Chinese, and I think I'm going to watch Ready Player One. because it's been a while since I read the book and I've seen the movie. So
Yeah.
I don't want to reread the book because I have the second book now. So I want to reread the first one and then go into the second one. So I think I'm going to watch Ready Player One, and I might watch Logan's Run as well. That'd be a good back-to-back. Repo Man. Somebody I just was reading about had something to do with Repo Man.
Was that was Richard Dawson in that one? Or am I thinking of something?
That's Running Man.
Running Man.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Repo Man has got Harry Dean Stanton and Emilio Estevez, and it's a very bizarre movie. It's very sci-fi-ish. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And for George Gaines, I would say pretty much all that stuff you just mentioned.
I agree. Yeah.
Wait a minute. What was that now? Oh, are we defining sci-fi in the literary sense as a possibility of modern technologies gone wrong, or the including definition including things like Star Wars? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Those are all, especially
Sci-fi to me.
I'm almost using this as a guide because, if it's on here, this is what somebody else considers science fiction. So anything that deals with, and Heracles, did you read the book for Ready Player One? That's usually my biggest question for anybody who really enjoys the movie, or because
I read it. And I also have the second one, which I haven't read yet, Ready Player Two. I haven't gotten around to reading it.
And I also have Armada too. I need to read that too. Ready Player One, I need to rewatch. Okay. So disappointed. Ready Player One soundtrack.
There should be a lot more Rush and everything.
Rush?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have. Oh, good. I'm glad, Heracles. Maybe we've talked about this before. You need to check it out because it's, or check it up, because the book is a lot of fun, but it's the same thing as, and oddly enough, I think this fits within science fiction, superheroes and whatnot. They all go together, right? But sure. Kick-Ass is the same way, and I describe it as, make sure that you watch the movie and let it be what it is before you read the book, because you will be lost. And a well done movie. Okay, something that included so many references. Yeah, George, that's why I want to watch the movie again on Friday night. I want to give it another chance because I was pissed because I couldn't even enjoy it.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
I thought it was good.
Because after I read the book,
started, and I'm like, where the hell am I?
So I read the book. I was like, boy, this would be a great movie. And I was like, well, wait a minute. This would be like an impossible movie. Because of the way the book went out, I was like, how could you even make this into a movie? So, yeah, I mean, it's different. There were definitely things they changed around, but it stands on its own. I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah.
I had zero frame of reference.
I'm eager to see it again. But yeah, Kick-Ass, you read the novel, and it's got it's a sad ending, but you watch the movie, and it's all Scooby-Doo ending.
Yeah. I love Kick-Ass, the novel?
I didn't know it was a novel.
No, I didn't either.
What, Kick-Ass?
Yeah.
It's a graphic novel, yeah.
Oh, graphic novel.
Okay.
Yeah. Now look at this, though. I didn't know this existed.
The originals.
Buck Rogers movie? What was that?
It's how it premiered. It's basically a double-length initial show.
Oh, I see. I got you. Because I own the whole series over there.
Yeah. And I remember watching those back in the day. I mean, I don't really remember much about them. I'd love the opportunity to watch Buck Rogers again. I really enjoyed that show when I was a kid. Battlestar Galactica as well. But I've never taken the time to sit down and watch them again nowadays, see how well they stand up.
Oh man, I had a crush on what's her name? Gray.
Erin Gray.
Erin Gray. Oh my god.
Yeah, who didn't?
Hoochie mama.
So,
well, that's like I read a stupid headline on one of those rag mags years ago. It said Ronald Reagan wanted to marry Doris Day. I'm like, who didn't? I'm like, that's
yeah, really.
Good luck with that.
Surprise.
And a little bit of trivia for you. Did you know that the actor who played Tweaky also played Cousin It?
Beady.
really? That's awesome.
And
Really stretched
away
it
at
there.
84 here last week.
You stretched
He
that.
died
Yeah, just recently. Last week or the week before, I think.
at 84.
Yeah, 84, 85. Well, whatever,
Choked on a
Did
hairball.
anybody read these or watch the movie, the original?
The Frank Hebert's
Yeah.
Hebert's Dune? No.
My son is getting ready to read the books because I think I don't know, we inherited them from my father-in-law, and he was a huge fan of the storyline of Dune. And I remember him trying to capture the extended version when they were showing it on TV, and just loved it. And so then he had it on DVD, and I got that. And I watched it recently. I'd never watched it, and I watched it probably, I'm going to say 3 years ago, maybe a little less than that. But it was, Sting was in it, and
they're remaking it now, right?
Yeah, but I've never seen any of the other ones. Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai is that's one that I've never seen front to back. Is anybody else?
I have
No,
not.
no.
No.
All I know is it beats the shit out of Megaforce.
Oh, what?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe you'd say that.
Well, I can't believe you wouldn't. Here we are unbelieving of each other.
Ready?
That's like dropping your pants in the middle of a McDonald's, That's what it's like. There you go. Now you just turned around and mooned everybody. You think that's bad? Check this ass.
I think Barry Bostwick gets an award for the tightest pants in a movie. They make me uncomfortable.
I mean, from playing Brad to playing, what was his name? What was the character's name in that?
Megaforce.
I thought it was Megaforce.
Yeah, Mega Man.
That's the name of Pete's third sex film.
Captain Force.
Megaforce it.
Oh, there's another show for you. Sci-fi movies that you love that are bad.
Yes.
There you go.
Well, you better just keep those handy, Pete.
That shouldn't be hard to do.
You like that movie?
Spaceballs? I hated it.
Why?
Why would I like it? Keep them handy, Pete.
Guess what?
Keep them handy.
Guess what? I've got the Blu-ray too.
Not surprised.
Pete, you would have made a great contestant on Let's Make a Deal. Monty Hall comes by to see what you have in your pockets, and you're pulling out Blu-rays and video games.
There you go. I got one. Hold it. I got one back here. Well, I know exactly where you're pulling Rise of Skywalker out of. The front of the pants comes Rise of Skywalker, and from the back of the pants comes Megaforce.
And hanging in the middle of Spaceballs.
and you know what? And don't get me wrong. The main thing about Megaforce is it almost got me to buy it. They almost got me because of the soundtrack.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, almost. But that final scene is just painful. Painful.
Which movie?
I'd rather just watch that same actor, not Bostwick, but the blonde guy.
I can't
just
find my copy or show it to you. What to do with it?
Yeah. Of what?
Megaforce.
Oh,
I can't see it.
It's in the back of your pants.
Behind you.
I gotta poop it out again. Okay, so we're getting some killer ones here. All right, Battle Beyond the Stars.
I got Predator on my list.
Do you own that one, Pete?
Good catch, Jeff.
Did you buy it?
I bought it because there was like 2 left, and I wanted to see this thing. And it's what's weird? Look, it's a Japanese only release.
Oh my god!
The same one?
Yeah.
Pete, what have you done to Jeff?
Well, I watched it.
And you're the inspiration, man.
I watched it, and yeah, it's terrible, but I mean, it was a fun watch. It was just, I mean, when he was on that motorcycle and he's kind of grinning and acting like a big jackass, and he does a flip. I'm like, you're trying not to die, and you're being a hot dog here. I was kind of hoping he'd be shot down.
Hey, there's Mike in the house right there. Love that movie right here. And you know what else, Stu? Celia loved that movie too.
Oh,
look, it's all Japanese. As far as I can tell.
All I know is what's going to happen is Jeff and I are going to have a day where he's going to come over to the house, and I'll be going through my DVDs, and all of a sudden, there it is. He's going to leave it at my house. He's going to say, let's see, action, adventure, M, and boop.
You'll be in a real bad mood, and you won't know why, just because Megaforce is in your house.
You'll feel its presence.
Like back when my brothers put on High Infidelity on my stereo, and I got pissed about that.
We were watching, and they were the big scene where they're being chased, and then Celia was watching, and she was actually kind of interested right there. And then all of a sudden, he starts going up in the air, making those weird faces, and she just starts cracking up. It's like, I don't know what's going on. Someone needs to shoot that guy down.
Did she like the one guy that was looking like he was watching a porno when he was flying in?
Yeah. Wait, what was his name? It was like Texas or Hawk or.
You talking about the main guy?
No, not the main guy. The guy who picked up
black guy?
The general and that woman. I forgot his name in the movie.
Right, Dallas, isn't that the one guy?
Oh yeah, that's him. See, Texas. I was close.
I know. That's when you said that. I'm like, no, I think it's Dallas. So, The Thing, brilliant film. I just want to kind of go through some of these real quick.
Sure.
I know that we've probably already hit on some of these. Starman, that was
back to The Thing real quick. Are any of you guys into like 1950s science fiction? Because it's like a whole different animal.
It is a whole other genre. We should talk about that.
Because those are really like Day the Earth Stood Still. That's one of my favorites. It's really interesting. I like how when the alien comes out of the ship, they immediately just shoot at him. I'm like, I think that's what would happen.
I think you're right.
Because you hear these stories about like an animal that's found with 2 heads, and what's the first thing they do? They kill it.
Yep.
It's like, what are you killing it for?
What is that? You better kill that, because I don't understand it. Kill that which you don't understand. All right, so then if we go down here, we got Starman. Did you guys see Starman? I don't know that I did. I
have, yeah.
Is that Bridges or is that Quaid?
Starman with Jeff Bridges.
Karen Allen or
Bridges, right? Yeah. And of course, Spaceballs. I just don't. Do you want to know what I didn't like about it?
Wow.
Do you give a shit? I mean,
yeah, I do, because it's Mel Brooks. I do like Mel Brooks.
Well, I kind of like Mel Brooks. There's only a couple of things I like about Blau Mooks. Whatever. That's how much I like him. History of the World Part 1 and Young Frankenstein. This is the only 2 things that I like by him.
I like that. High Anxiety.
I just thought Spaceballs was junior high level humor. I'm like, this isn't even funny.
It was.
I'm like, I was saying
lower.
shit like this back in junior high.
It was lower, yes.
And, then, and he wouldn't even have had a film if it wasn't for Star Wars. I mean, you're like, so you got shit humor piled on top of just a remake of a film. Instead of a sword, you're using a dick, and you're like, it's stupid. I'm like, really? This isn't even funny. Now, Family Guy, those are funny.
Yeah.
Because they're using their humor, which is funny.
I agree.
Yeah. Spaceball's a waste of my fucking time. The only thing that's not a waste of my time in that movie is when Bon Jovi's playing and that damn Winnebago comes through. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kick-ass and funny. You're like, somewhere out there's some drunk dude on beer and he's like, man, that's fun. What if I had like a Winnebago? What if I put this Winnebago out in space? Damn, I'd kick some ass. I'd have like a big dog. He'd be kicking everybody's ass and like wag his tail between somebody's legs. That'd be funny. Nah, that'll be on the stars. Who loves that film?
I've never even heard of it.
Shut your mouth.
No, what is it?
Thank you, Pete.
Oh, come on. How did you have that?
It's huge, dude. It's huge. They have it on Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah. I've had it for years and years.
What year is that?
70s.
82
or yeah. Roger Corman, huh?
Yeah, Roger Corman, man.
Yeah.
It's got George Papard in it.
Yep.
And it's got, that's what we were just talking about. It had Sybil Danning in it.
Richard Thomas is the main character.
Richard Thomas, John Boy. He's the lead.
A lot of the footage from this is also used in, I think it's Galaxy of Terror, if you remember that one. That's sort of that's like the same spaceships flying around and stuff like that. Uses the exact same footage, the exact same ships. The main cow's head looking spaceship from this one is in that other movie because they just reuse stock footage in different movies, right?
The Stooges used to do that all the time.
Oh yeah,
Jeff, we need to watch that sometime soon because it was streaming. I think it was on Amazon or something.
This was on Tubi. Was recently.
Oh, was it on?
Might still be there.
What is it? Battle
Beyond the Stars.
Battle Beyond the Stars.
Yeah. And the spaceship had boobs on it. Basically, the front was boobs.
That reminds me of Battle of the Network Stars.
Yeah, exactly.
That had boobs too.
Yeah, right. And Sybil Danning's in that too. So it's funny because she's got this like bra thing that's like these skeletal hands. And that's what's holding her up. And it's like, oh my god.
Whatever it takes.
I'm sorry, but I lose the plot whenever she's on the screen.
Space Raiders is the other one that has this, and it's on the same footage, and it's on Tubi as well.
Huh.
And the covers look so much alike.
So, with such a big genre, do you guys actually have a favorite sci-fi movie? Or is it too difficult?
Do you want to do a sci-fi movie or a franchise? Does it matter? Or do you want to hit a specific one in the franchise?
I would have to say a franchise or a movie.
Yeah, you can just say the franchise.
Yeah, I mean, I have a list. Should we each do one and go do a round robin thing?
I would say
I think we all have Star Wars.
Number 5.
What's
I
that?
don't even have Star Wars.
You know, that's what I wanted to know. I thought,
and I'm a Star Wars. I watch Star Wars. I know Star Wars. It's not even on my list. So
interesting.
There's better things, but
yeah, no, that's cool.
Continue from watching Star Wars.
Yeah, I've seen most of Star Wars movies, but I wouldn't put any of them in my top 10.
Really?
50. No.
Really?
Yeah. I told that story. I saw it with my parents when it first came out, the first one. And I don't know. I just didn't get it. I was like, I just didn't like it.
For it. Hook, line, and sinker, man.
And I forgot about it after that. And they put out a couple more when I was a kid, and I was like, I just didn't bother because I didn't like the first one.
Well, so Pete, I know it's on your list. I mean, which one is your favorite?
Which one is my favorite?
Yeah, because
I have an awful hard time saying. I cannot say that it's Empire Strikes Back, although I will consider it maybe probably the best made movie. The original, the very first one is my favorite because I would say is my favorite, and because the one that actually sort of starts all things for me, the things that gives me the most memories, that's what affects me the most. So I don't consider any of them. It was so good at the time to me at that stage of my life. For the next so many years, I have so many memories of when I went to see it, when I saw it the second time 5 years later. Because remember, in 1977, you weren't going out and seeing it every week, right? There was no DVD coming down the pipes. VHS was just getting into houses by 81, 82. And there's going to be VHS recorders in 70% of the houses by 1985. It's like, bullshit, they cost $1,000, right? No, but by 1982, all of a sudden I had the opportunity to see it a second time. And it's just the flow of things like that makes it the most. So even though I'm sitting here and I'm going to say, okay, the DVDs, the VHS, all the Blu-rays of all the movies, of course, all the other ones. These are the ones that we went on the hunt for that day, Stu, right?
Yes.
Those VHS tapes. That is, and I'm going to put it this way, is it the series that meant the most to me overall? Yes, probably. Would I call it my favorite movie of all, sci-fi movie? I'm putting the Star Wars at number 2 because it's not my favorite movie, but it's probably the one that's influenced me the most.
Right. And, when it comes to all the favorite things, that's where I just kind of want to, make it kind of relaxed and just say, off the top of your head, what are the first ones that come to your mind? That's kind of where I am because there's way too many and way too many little, like Bar was saying.
Yeah.
There's nuances that make one thing better than another.
Well put, yeah.
And so when it comes to that, it's like just whatever pops in your head as like these are the things that if you say what are some of my favorite things, it's got to be Star Wars for me. Star Wars, I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, it's exactly for the same reasons you just said, Pete.
Yeah, nostalgia, the way it makes me feel, at the end of the day. Is it the best movie?
Right.
No, but it's the way it made me feel through. The thing that's been more important to me than any of these other, even my favorite, what I'm going to call my favorite movie, Star Wars, but so much more significant in the things I've done in my life, whether it's collecting or thinking about or watching on TV or looking forward to or watching my kids or anything like that. Right down to this puppy right here. Do you recognize that?
Yeah, the holiday special.
The holiday special, right? I mean, I can still remember when this came on TV, everybody, like I lived in a little podunk town where Star Wars played for about 6 or 8 weeks or something like that, which was huge in a town of 5,000 people. But I only saw it once. I was 9 years old, right? And then you saw nothing. I had the novel. I read the novel like 4 times within 6 months. And then this was coming on at Christmas. You're damn right I was in front of the television ready to watch it. B. Arthur's the only thing that was any good whatsoever in the
just like I was, and this is science fiction. How about this? This is science fiction, just like me, Pete. Just prior to that, probably a couple of years prior. Well, when did that come out?
78.
Yeah, same year.
77 or 78. So November 17th, 1978.
Yeah. So earlier that year, what was I glued in front of the tube to watch? 2 months earlier.
Battlestar Galactica? No.
Kiss meets the Phantom of the Park.
Oh.
On Halloween night. So, that's science fiction because it's a mad scientist doing robots and, So Invasion of the Body Snatchers, good one, Lance.
Yeah.
Last Starfighter. But the Star Wars thing, and I'm right with you there, Pete. If I can just almost shed a tear over the fact that we're on the same page with Star Wars, it's that I want to say Empire Strikes Back too, But that first one, though, ultimately, probably I'd have to say is my favorite. But, I went with my dad in 1977 to see it. We sat up in the balcony area of the theater in Peoria and watched it. And then when Empire Strikes Back came out, then I went with my buddy and his stepdad, and we stayed in the theater and watched it twice because they didn't boot us out. So it was a Saturday afternoon. That's the one I think I've told you guys about, where a guy was talking to a Pepsi can on the way in. I was like, what is up with this guy?
There's more than Pepsi.
Matrix.
I mean, and that's why, for all those reasons, that was the same reason that I was, when we started first bantering about Rise of Skywalker, I had seen it once. I saw it in the theater, and it is what it is, right? And I have watched it again actually since. Okay, one more time. I finally watched it again. And no, it's not a very good movie. And no, I really don't like the premise of the way they finished it up. I thought it was kind of dumb, to be quite honest. But it is what it is. It's what we have to have the Star Wars. I love the Star Wars series as a whole, so I'll take the worst with the best. And that's my attitude about it. Well, I'll never trash it. It wasn't exact. I would have liked to have seen something different, but so be it. At least we saw it.
And I think when you and I have discussed it, when you and I have discussed it in front of everybody else, I think ultimately that's all I'm saying. I'm like, well, it was a shitty way to wrap it up, but they wrapped up Game of Thrones in a shitty way. I mean, what else? There's a million other things they dropped the turd on it, and Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow. I went through. It's one of my tops.
Is it?
I don't know why.
Is it?
I love it. Love it.
Well, it's a good film.
I've seen it over and over. Can't count.
And that's Tom Cruise, right?
Yes.
Correct.
I think I have not seen it, but I'll tell you another one. While you're throwing that out there, I don't know if anybody will have this on their list or not, but I enjoy this one too.
Yes, I just rewatched that recently.
Minority Report.
Just saw it too.
Did you see it? Did you like it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I've seen it several times.
Okay, I'm not a Tom Cruise fan, but I really enjoyed that movie. I guess he's good in whatever he does. It's just Yeah.
But Bar, that was a funny one too, and you mentioned that one too, because that is, my son and I were in a Walmart, and I love going to their Blu-ray discount bin. I'm like a moth to the flame when it comes to that. I can't help it. And I will sit there, and I mean, if you give me 45 minutes to an hour, I will sit there and do the wave shift when you're moving them out to find what's underneath. And I found that movie, and Logan goes, "You should get that. That's really good."
That's Red Planet.
What? Red Planet didn't get great ratings. I don't think I liked it. I don't remember.
I saw it.
I don't remember digging on it. Jeff, I know what your favorite film is, 2001: Space Odyssey.
Yeah, I know that's polarizing. But I told the story once before, but when I was really little, it was on Channel 11 here in town, and I went to watch it because I love science fiction. What's really weird is, even though I love science fiction, there aren't that. Ooh, look at that. Hal. There aren't that many science fiction movies that I love. I don't know. It was just kind of weird. It's like that with baseball movies. I love baseball, but there's only a handful of baseball movies I really like. But I was watching the beginning of 2001. Of course, it's like the, whatever you want to call them, early man. I just like to say monkeys jumping all over the place, because early man, they're just going around and beating each other up. I remember watching as a little kid, and I was like, what is this? What does that have to do with space? And I just turned it off. And, look at that. I've got a 2001 poster of just, the baby that comes out at the very end.
Yeah.
That's what the poster is. And I was looking up images of that movie. Oh, do you have it?
I don't know. There's the back side of these.
Now, are those laser discs?
These are the RCA video discs. Sneak preview. They're coming up in a pickup video there shortly.
Wow.
But yeah.
I was working the second shift, and it was after midnight. I was talking to the guy about that movie, He goes, "Oh man, it's a great movie. I love it." He goes, "I'll bring it to you tomorrow." So he brings it to me. I went home about 2 a.m. the next day, put it in. And I know most people fall asleep even when they're wide awake watching the movie, but I was like this. My eyes were like, oh, I was so fascinated by it. I stayed up much the whole 3 hours or whatever it was. I was so fired up. I couldn't even go to sleep after that. I just love that movie. It was just so interesting. There was hardly any talking whatsoever.
Yeah.
But like when you watch the space thing they're on it, and you're like, this is 1968. Looking at it today, it's beautiful. It's like, how did they do that back then?
Yeah.
It was really nice. Plus, I like the book. The book's really good as well. But yeah, that's my favorite. But someone just mentioned, what was the Red Planet? Have you guys ever seen Mission to Mars?
I think I have, actually. I don't remember well.
I know of that film. Who's in that?
Gary Sinise, Don Cheadle.
Oh.
But I love that film, and it was so interesting. Towards the end, I won't say exactly what happens in case anyone wants to watch it. I don't think a lot of people have seen it, but once everyone's there on the planet, something happens like all the way towards the end. It's so interesting. I just love that. Oh yeah, JD says he's a big Arthur C. Clarke fan. Yeah. Yeah, anyone's a sci-fi fan, read his books. They are really good.
I'm trying to figure out what it was that I found out about Repo Man the other day. There was something about it. I don't know if it was who did the music or what it was, but I don't know. I won't figure it out. But
so we're jumping around, but everybody actually we should all give at least our number 5.
Well, and like I say, I just wrote down a bunch.
True.
Like other than Space Odyssey, I'm not sure how I would even put these in order.
Yeah, that's why I don't even worry about it, because I could go all day and try to figure that out. But there's so many other films that fit themselves somewhere into my love life with science fiction. And then there's some science fiction that I don't like. There's certain films that I don't like for certain reasons, and it's like Stargate. Not a big fan of that movie.
Is that Jodie Foster?
No, that was
Kurt Russell.
There's Kurt Russell. That's on here. There's a song about Stargate on here.
Okay.
But yeah, it's called The Eye of Ra, and
right.
It's the one where the alien race comes in, disguised as an Egyptian presence, and he calls himself Ra, and he's adapted that legend, that legacy of hieroglyphics and all that stuff, and they found the seventh sign, and that's led them to Earth, and now they're not anything about the whole Egyptian thing. It's really nothing about that. I don't think. It's just about them taking on a persona and coming down and oppressing a group of people who believe in Ra and all of that.
Here's another movie most people like that I didn't like. E.T.
Yeah, we agree on that one, Jeff.
Everyone else seems to love the movie. I don't know why I didn't like it. Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't see it when it came out. I saw it several years later when we were playing it for my niece and nephew when they were really little. And they were getting really emotional. There's some sad scenes. And I'm just looking around going, what? It's like, I don't get it.
Could somebody explain to this? I could just see you going, I don't get it. And I could see Sean turning around going, you're a cold-hearted bastard.
What did OEB Pete call me? A cold son of a bee. A cold-hearted son of a bee.
Now, Frequency, I'm trying to remember this one because I think I've seen it.
Oh, yeah. Well, sorry. Where was that at?
E.T. bored me as a kid. No, I'm glad you made that mistake. That was good.
Yeah, what was Frequency? I think was that a more was that in the last 5 years?
No, it's old.
Frequency. I'm not sure. Oh, Mike Mullis mentioned he enjoyed 2010, that movie as well. I like 2010, but it's just where 2010 just seemed like a good sci-fi movie, where 2001 to me was just beyond all that.
Yeah,
there's still 2 more books in that series. They need to do those as well.
Well, it looks like they have. It stars. I guess there's a newer version of Frequency, but the original is Dennis Quaid, Jim Caviezel, Sean Doyle are all in that film.
What year was that?
2000.
2000.
Let's see if there's anybody else in here that we would know. Yeah, I don't. I mean, there's probably other people, but Michael Cera's in it. But Dick Cavett is in it as himself.
Dick Cavett. I used to work with a guy who had the exact same voice as Dick Cavett.
No,
it was unbelievable.
That must have been awesome.
Usually you see someone that looks like someone, but this guy sounded just like Dick Cavett, and it was so weird.
Because he had such a cool voice. He was like, oh, and they did another movie in 2014, and then they did a television series in 2016.
By the way, unrelated with that guy who sounded like Dick Cavett, his name was Barney. And I walked by when he was making a phone call talking like Dick Cavett. And he goes, he said, "Hey, Fred, this is Barney." I was like, "What? You gotta be kidding me." I went to the Mystery Science Theater movie the night it opened. We went to midnight showing at the Tivoli.
We did.
Yeah, you were there. What am I talking about?
I was.
Remember, there was like some guy that was he would talk through it at some point, and people were all dressed up. It was crazy.
Yep. Yeah, that was a fun night.
That was a fun night.
Oh, look at that! I'm a sucker for John Williams.
DJ Steve, what's your favorite sci-fi, Chuck? You know what movie no one's mentioned or series is? I think probably my second favorite.
Alien.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
that's on Guy's list. And I had him. Go ahead.
Oh, I just love that movie. I mean, even though like I know people don't like the other movies, but I even like the other ones. Just because I think I was so kind of like Pete with Star Wars. It's like that with me in Planet of the Apes. I just love the movie. I love the concept. So, and I like the story of all the movies, even though like the quality kind of went down, but the idea behind all of them. And I even like the newer ones. Not the Marky. Was it Marky Mark did one?
Yeah, that one wasn't.
I didn't like that one as much, but the other ones they kind of rebooted those. I like those. But they never did reboot or they never remade the second one. That was the crazy one where there were humans living underground.
Oh,
yeah. Remember that one? It was a really weird movie. And
terrifying.
I didn't touch that one.
Well, and it's hard to remember which one is which. I mean, they had Planet of the Apes, they had Battle for the Planet of the Apes, they had Conquest of the Battle of the Apes. There were 5 originals.
I don't remember the names, but yeah, the second one.
And there was Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
The second one went back in time, so you found out how Planet of the Apes began, and then 3, 4, 5 were in order. It just kept getting closer and closer to Planet of the Apes, the takeover. So it was really interesting to watch that.
Yeah, I was really happy when I bought the box set, the Blu-ray box set, and that was really cool. And I sat and watched all of them. Maybe not at one time, but maybe through a week I watched them all.
You should have watched them all at the same time.
I know. Usually that saves
it'll save you a couple hours.
Guy said that the reason that he really liked Planet of the Apes because it was kind of crazy scary because he was a kid when they were coming out.
Sure.
And he loves the remake for the effects. The one with Mark Wahlberg. He still liked it. I remember he said that, and I'm like, there was something weird about that. I had to get a copy of it again, so I have a copy over there on DVD. I got it for like $2 or something. But he loves Tim Roth in that film. He's like, man, he said the effects were great, and Tim Roth was so intimidating in that movie. And he said the ending he liked because it was like the book. So, and Heston, Charles Heston made an appearance in the film as an ape at the end.
That's the ending was exactly why I didn't like the Marky Mark film.
Yeah,
I was like, you changed the ending of the original film. It was so iconic.
But that was the book.
Yeah.
And Pierre Boulle. What else did Pierre Boulle write? Another famous movie, a war movie.
I don't know.
Bridge Over the River Kwai.
Oh.
So he wrote Planet of the Apes and that book from which those movies were made. You damn dirty ape. That's on this one. They have a song about Planet of the Apes. Matrix is on here. Oh, there you go.
Nobody's mentioned those yet.
Is that from the section of movies in your collection that just keep falling out? Like Megaforce and Rise of Skywalker. They just keep falling out. Oh, look at that. Dude, are those the double discs? Yeah.
For all the Star Treks, yep.
Yeah.
Plus the new ones, the Blu-ray.
I have 3 of those or 4 of them. Yeah. I have 3 or 4 of those silver cased ones where they're the double thickness, and I think
when I send you up another box, I got an extra copy of Nemesis kicking around, all still in the shrink wrap even. The last one's not a great movie, but it's, out of print.
Right.
So.
What was the one with the Borg?
Oh, what was that?
Which movie was that?
I don't remember.
Oh, Children of Men with Clive Owen.
Whoop, sorry.
Armageddon. That was my first DVD ever. When you mentioned your first DVD, I thought, well, my first DVD was a Sci-Fi too. I bought it at. Do you remember, Jeff? And Bar, you probably remember this. In St. Louis, there was Best and Best Buy, right?
Yes, a long time ago.
And there was Circuit City.
Right. Yep.
And there was one over in the Bridgeton area, and that's where I bought my first DVD player. I remember calling Christine, and I go, it's 200 and something. Yeah, there you go.
First Contact.
Yes.
Rich said it on there too. First Contact.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And that one had Cromwell in it. Was one of the main characters.
Oh, Richard Cromwell.
Yeah.
Stretch Cunningham from All in the Family.
That's right. Yeah.
Would you guys consider Jurassic Park sci-fi?
It's on a lot of lists of sci-fi.
Yeah, because it deals with science, and it's
listed, I think it's listed like action, adventure, sci-fi. Because I never even thought of it as sci-fi, but we really do sit back and think it's like, well, yeah, I guess it is sci-fi because we're not cloning dinosaurs and putting them in a park.
Yeah,
maybe one day.
Yeah. Now, what is this Idiocracy? I've never.
I haven't seen that.
I've never seen it.
I've seen bits of it. It's not a sci-fi movie, is it? I have not watched it, but I thought it was a comedy, frankly.
Might be a bad sign.
Not that you can't have a sci-fi comedy.
They actually had a TV show about it too, I guess. Is selected as a guinea pig for a top secret hibernation program, but is forgotten, awakening to a future so incredibly moronic, he's easily the most intelligent person alive. So there you go.
This is interesting. Willy Wonka. Because there's some way out there stuff in Wonka. I mean, Oompa Loompas from Loompa Land and all of its contraptions.
I know, right?
It never even occurred to me that could be.
That's one I never thought of.
I love that movie.
I'm a big Arthur C. Clarke fan. Satellite.
Yeah, one of his books, he came up with the concept of a satellite, and well before satellites even existed. It was just kind of cool.
Wow.
Oh yeah, what about Waterworld?
No, I can't do that for the same reason that I can't do Stargate. It's just I don't like wasteland films. I don't like it's. That's why I loved Mad Max, and I loved Road Warrior, but when it came to the Thunderdome, I was just like, nope. Just a bunch of people running around in a dirty land doing whatever, and
go take a shower.
Just but I did like the new Mad Max though, and it was kind of a wasteland film. But I get tired of just gangs of people with these things on their faces and pew 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 and just I don't give a shit. I don't care. It's just a bunch of faceless people running around and then they're dead or whatever, and it's just
this is one that's back from like the same year as Planet of the Apes, and everybody's heard of it, but does anybody like it?
I haven't even seen it, to be honest.
Barbarella? I've never seen that front to back.
Yeah, it's interesting, but it's nothing too special, but it's sort of infamous, right? Of course, Jane Fonda. But and also like the littlest thing is what is it? One of the characters in there's name's Duran, and that's where Duran got their name.
Duran got their name.
Wow, interesting.
I remember that.
Anyone know what this movie is that Chuck's talking about?
Which one?
What's the name of it?
Oh my God, no!
He can't think of the name.
I read that earlier.
Oh, with a 70s movie where they are fighting this weird brown alien on a starship. Then at the end, they suck it into space, and it's following the ship at the end. No clue on the name.
Huh. I wonder if anyone in chat knows that. I don't know that.
The weird brown alien. I don't know. Now, one of the Time Machines and Gremlins, is that sci-fi?
More fantasy or supernatural or something. Like, but anything can be argued, could be given arguments for a sci-fi type.
True.
Well,
yeah.
In books, as far as that goes, SF, sci-fi, and science fiction are all three sort of distinctive classes of books. Mm-hmm. Specifically, like I took a novel class one time, and it seems like they said something about that.
Yeah, that's what George James was saying. He was saying that same thing, Bar, that sci-fi has an actual definition, because he was saying that. I think George said that Jurassic Park was it Jurassic Park? I can't remember. It was more sci-fi than Star Wars, according to the literal definition.
Really?
Those definitions. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm not even aware of. So that was news to me when he said that. So I was glad.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at it like I said earlier, I mean, it is science, and it's a fictional story about a scientific situation, then yes. Now, RoboCop, one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
Huge. How about a Gremlins reboot? And Chuck says he saw that Barbarella years ago. He said it's weird.
It's weird.
Even a Gremlins sequel.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised they haven't redone that. I mean, they do a lot of remakes. That'd probably be pretty popular, I bet, with the kids.
Yeah. What about? Here's one that I took to school today, just in case we had some time, because we've got a lot of wacky stuff happening towards the end of the year here. I took Small Soldiers. Would you consider that earthbound science fiction? Technology?
I guess anything with science and technology that's not real.
Yeah.
Would fit under that.
I enjoyed that. That's one of those hokey films that I'm like, that's really cool.
Yeah, hokey's good sometimes.
Yeah, it is. What about Mars Attacks? Speaking of hokey, I've never seen it front to back.
Not me either.
No, I haven't either.
And with whom was I speaking about? Was it somebody maybe on Hammer Away? Somebody I was interviewing, and I was talking about, maybe it was Tommy. And I was telling him about bad channels. Was that you, Pete? Was I talking to you about bad channels
before on here?
And have you watched it?
I have not. It's on Tubi. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
My buddy Ron Keel's in there, and Blue Oyster Cult does the soundtrack.
Ooh.
So that's totally sci-fi.
Hey,
you
Bart,
brought this one up before the past two? Stu.
What is that one?
Outland.
Oh, Outland.
Outland is one of my favorites.
Yep. And it's only $6.99.
It's only $6.99.
That's one of the movies depicted on here. It's called High Moon. Great song.
Hey, Bart, what's some of your favorites?
I'll take you way back. One that really sort of got in my head, and I think it was in the 70s, was Altered States.
Mm-hmm.
William Hurt.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Sci-Fi on that because that one was out there. And they kind of did the whole, I guess it was sort of like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was just such a weird movie.
Yeah. It was out in the days of The Fly, right? With Jeff Goldblum. It was right in that surge of movies.
Sort of, yeah. I think, it was.
And what was his science? What did he do? Did he try to go? What?
He tried to. I think he literally tried to devolve.
Oh, okay.
He was in those isolation tanks, and he finally took some sort of mind-altering drug, and literally saw himself devolve into a pre-human or something. I don't know. It was very bizarre. It was very sci-fi, I would think. I think it is.
It says here that it took place in the movie took place in the late 60s. And it says, just for a lark, graduate student Eddie Jessup, known for being unconventional, brilliant, and slightly mad, conducts experiments with an isolation chamber using himself. That's interesting.
It was 1980, I guess, is when the movie came out. So yeah, it was kind of.
Yeah. His experiences in the chamber caused him to hallucinate, much of the imagery being religious based, despite his not being a religious man. 7 years later, he's a respected full professor in the Harvard Medical School. Believing he has lost his edge and has fallen into the unwanted state of respectability, Eddie decides to resume his work with sensory deprivation. Huh. I just always remember the scene of him bashing against the walls and shorting out.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, that one brought me back, and that was one of my old-time faves for sure.
Yeah.
Kind of like recently, I kind of really dig that District 9.
Oh, yeah. That was good.
I did like that.
It was different. It wasn't sort of let's revisit the whole alien thing.
Right.
Well, I liked it. It had some political undertones, but that didn't matter. It was still a cool sci-fi flick. Who cares?
Yeah, that's what was cool about it. It was you don't see too many movies of what Earth would be like if aliens actually came here.
Right.
And they were basically roped off. They were in their own little section.
one reaction to the, one possible reaction.
Yeah, and I thought it was very realistic as far as how things probably would happen if aliens got trapped here, and because it's like what do you do with them, especially if they're dangerous. You keep them caged like animals, or you can't let them run loose, right? Or it's a very interesting thing that maybe it'll happen one day.
Maybe.
On a different note, I did hear, not movie related, but I did hear that there's a whistleblower at the Pentagon who claims that in June they're going to announce their findings on UFOs.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And they've got this new thing now where they've got the triangular ship.
Yes.
That they're catching on radar.
Different than the big triangle ones that, from like the 80s and 90s?
I don't know if it's different, but it's kind of a resurgence of that.
Because there were bigger parts of these huge triangle shape, and they would go really slow, and they're flying low, and it was always at night. And I think a lot of people thought it was just military stuff because it wasn't the kind of stuff that just like zoom, it's gone in a blink of an eye. It was just slow moving. So it was more believable that it was us than aliens.
Isn't it kind of cool that even aliens can be retro?
Yeah.
So what, I don't know, what do you say we just go back to the triangular thing again? I mean, let's try it out. It's been since the 80s. Let's do the triangle again. I think Buzz has got one in the back. It blew a manifold, and I think he worked it out. So got a new paint job. We'll just go.
Oh, here we go. Chuck saw a triangle UFO at night on Christmas Eve a few years ago.
Oh my gosh. Hovering over a house. Wow.
Anyone ever seen a UFO? I've never seen anything. Anything that you just couldn't explain?
I think there was a moment, there's been a couple of moments where I think I'm like, I don't know what that is. Nothing that would be worth grabbing a camera, but I've had those moments though. 10 feet away from the roof of a house.
Oh my God. Did you throw a rock at it? Chuck, did you throw anything at it to scare it?
Did you guys ever see this old Disney film, that Black Hole?
Yes, recently.
Yeah, good film.
It's on the Disney Channel right now. It's great.
Yeah.
Very interesting. At the time, it didn't fit the genre of the fun sci-fi movie that were out at the time, like the Battlestar Galactica, the Star Wars. It was sort of too cerebral for the common crowd, I'll say. So it didn't get good reviews. But looking at it now, it's fantastic. It's a good movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah. What about Silent Running?
I'm not familiar with that.
I know that.
Really?
Can't think of it.
It was almost in that same kind of vein as the Black Hole, where there's somebody out there in space. They're on a station, and there's droids or bots that are working to sustain life, and Bruce Dern was in that one. Silent Running. At the Food and Care Coalition, some people saw UFO-like stuff in the sky. I've seen pictures they took.
Huh.
And then there's the alien factor.
No, I don't know that one.
I don't know that one either.
Oh, Lance, Flash Gordon. I love Flash Gordon.
I do too. I just watched that recently again.
Yeah. Great movie.
Yeah.
I like this one too, and I call it sci-fi.
There you go. Heavy metal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love that movie.
I just watched that not long ago. I never watched the second one though, because it didn't get great ratings.
I didn't either. No, and I think I started to one time. It was on like one of the pay-per-view channel, or not pay-per-view, but one of the cable channels, and I just couldn't get into it. But that one's a classic.
That was a classic. Yeah. going, following the Lochnar from story to story and everything. And John Candy did the voice of the first character. That was from the first storyline that they had.
Yeah.
Laser
And of course, I always go with "I've got an angle." That's always my favorite line.
Is there a movie Laser Blast or?
I don't know.
An Activision game on Atari? I used to play that.
Why? Yes, it is, and here it is.
Any media whatsoever, beat can grab.
That's not a movie.
Pull it out anywhere.
Yeah. Didn't David Crane do that, Pete?
Yeah, he did. I think.
Yeah.
He did so many of them. Dude, that was not very good shape.
Did he do the programming for it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Game designer and programming. I mean, back then it was all pretty much single person, right? Did the whole game.
Yeah. Guy mentioned the first movie he mentioned tonight was Event Horizon. Have you ever seen it with Sam Neill?
Yeah.
Heard of it, don't know it.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but you guys have though?
I've seen it, yeah. It was pretty good.
Okay.
It seems like I've seen it at some point.
He said it's like 2001 Space Odyssey and Alien. Wait, no. Yeah, like 2001 and Alien with the technology and stuff meets The Exorcist.
Well, that's a combo right there.
Right? Right?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Oh. The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. Did you guys see the original Fly with Vincent Price?
No. I've only seen scenes.
Oh, it is. The end scene is one of the creepiest scenes I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah, when he's like stuck in the
fly with the guy head is stuck in a spider web,
and is yelling out.
The spider's coming at him, and Vincent Price is sitting on a park bench, and he hears this little voice, "Help me! Help me!" Oh, I saw that as a little kid, and that just creeped me out.
Is he in the ground? Is the head in the ground? Or on a spot? What did you say?
On the fly.
Yeah, the fly had a human head, and I think it was stuck in a spider web.
That was creepy as shit.
Wasn't that? Oh,
that creeped me out.
Yeah. That is one of the creepiest scenes I think ever in a movie. It's just,
yeah.
When you remember
what about those?
That voice.
What about those movies that leave you trying to figure out how it's going to end? I mean, did you guys see Ex Machina?
Yes.
No, I've not watched it.
Okay, then I won't say any more.
I've seen it.
But I'd suggest watching it. It's very well done. It's really well played.
I've heard nothing but good things
and the ending ending will leave you just going, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, for sure.
So check it out. I won't say any more about it, but
almost put that on my list.
It was really good. Really good. Explorers with River Phoenix. What about Space Camp? Did anybody see that?
I remember seeing that way back in the day, but never would have thought of it in a million years.
My daughter-in-law loves the film. She and my son bought the movie because she loves it. Yeah. And we watched it when we went up to visit a while back, about a year ago probably. And we sat and watched. It was entertaining. It was hokey, but it was entertaining.
Yeah.
So what was this about? Right? Yeah, Flash Gordon. Yeah, Queen did the music. Yep.
Oh yeah.
And then right after that, they did Highlander.
Oh, I guess you call it fantasy, but great first movie.
Future World. Which one is Future World?
I don't know.
Yul Brynner?
No, that was Westworld. What Future World is that within that same?
Is it connected?
Is that within the same franchise? Future World, 1976, with Peter Fonda.
Huh.
Peter Fonda, Blythe Danner, Arthur Hill. Let's see here. Yeah, Yul Brynner's in it. Let's see. Alan Ludden is in it.
Alan Ludden.
Alan Ludden.
Yeah.
From Password?
Yeah, he plays a game show host.
Mr. Betty White.
Was he
Mr. Betty White?
Was he an actor? And just started doing a game show? Or did he get on that because he was a game show host?
I would say that.
He did more of along that line than actual roles.
I think he was really huge at the time, and so when they needed a game show host for their, for their amusement situation, their I'd say amusement park or whatever, but then they got him. So
we're almost an hour and a half in. Do you know what movies hasn't been mentioned yet? Back to the Future.
I have it on my list. I haven't gotten to it yet.
Somebody mentioned it in the comments, I think.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it's been brought up but not discussed at all. We talked about Doc Brown to make Gilligan was going to be Doc.
Yes.
Yeah,
Marty.
And did you guys notice this one way earlier? Cocoon.
I did see that, and I like that movie. Something else we skimmed through, and I can't think. Oh, Time Bandits went through there. Now that's
Time Bandits. Yeah,
I love Time Bandits as well.
And then what about this one? Have you guys, Boy and His Dog? Did you, Pete? You're the only one that I would think that have seen that.
I have not seen it. I have it on my playlist. It is available on Tubi as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So I remember seeing it back in the day, being on for whatever reason, it sticks in my mind. Those little stupid HBO books that were like 10 pages long from 1981. I can remember seeing A Boy and His Dog in there and thinking, that looks weird. I was 13, 14, and I never watched it. But
wow.
Yeah.
Did
what about
somebody bring up Men in Black yet?
Yeah, what about Men in Black?
Somebody did. Yeah.
Okay, I thought I saw it. But...
Yeah, what about Men in Black? I mean, really the only one worth a damn is the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
I'm not a big fan of it is all, but
I really like the first one. I don't know. I watched the others, but
I agree.
Nothing to write home about.
Now, is this Starship Troopers? Is this what Jeff meant earlier? Is it
Star Trooper? Probably. That's a great movie. I enjoy Starship Troopers. Too bad it fell off the face of the earth after that.
I know. But that first one was brilliant. I mean, the only thing that drove me nuts was at the end, because Denise Williams. Yeah. Shoved that thing right there. And at the end, she's throwing her arms around those two guys. You're like, I don't think you're going to be doing that. It's like, wow, that healed fast.
Yeah.
Like, chunk, this big old freaking spear of this. And then she's like, yeah, guys. And you're like, no. I don't think that's happening. And then look at this was George said the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was the first one. I got rid of that movie. I didn't quite understand it.
I loved it.
So I could totally see like on a Saturday night, like Celia flying through the living room doing moves like that. And just
all of a sudden Jeff's hat's gone.
Yeah, we watch
or
a lot.
Perry coming into the show tonight like that.
We watch a lot of martial arts movies. A lot of Bruce Lee too.
A lot of Bruce. Do you on the reg?
I love Bruce Lee.
Yeah, he's fascinating to watch.
They changed the name of it, but it was called The Big Brawl when I saw it in the theaters. But now it's called Battle in the Bronx, or
the Jackie Chan movie.
Jackie Chan movie.
Yeah, Battle in the Bronx.
Yeah, and it was originally called The Big Brawl when I saw it in the theaters. But
that's interesting.
And it has the guy who played. Speaking of science fiction, it had the guy who played Darkman, and he was Benny on L.A. Law.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was in it, in a small part, but that was a good movie. And also, I want to know if some of those guys are actual wrestlers from back in the day. Or were they just actors that looked like wrestlers?
In what movie?
In the Big Brawl. Well, Battle in the Bronx.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see it.
I don't think I saw that.
You should. It's a great flick, man.
Is it Rumble in the Bronx or Battle in the Bronx?
Rumble in the Bronx. That's what they recalled it.
Okay,
that's what they renamed it. Was Rumble in the Bronx. Thank you. I think that's right. Yeah.
I've heard of Rumble in the Bronx. That's for sure. Jackie Chan.
And Mako was in it. Yeah. It had that theme where it was like, that.
Here's a movie that disappointed me a little bit. We haven't talked much about this series as the Alien series, right? Because Aliens.
That's on my list. Yeah.
Is Prometheus. Did you watch that one?
No.
What did you think?
I liked it because of what it was. I'm not going out to watch it again. I don't know why I have the 4 Blu-ray set.
It was probably $5.
That's probably it, because I can't imagine me wanting to watch it a whole lot more. Look at the freaking discs in this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
For the movie you never wanted to see any more of, it's got a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, speaking of, we can say this for Sci-Fi. Speaking of which, my nephew got a hold of me recently, and he goes, "Hey, have you seen the new Justice League?" I'm like, "Oh, is there a new Justice League?" He goes, "Well, no, it's the original one still, but it's Zack Snyder's version.
Yeah.
And it's 4 hours long." I go, "Whoa, wait a minute." So you're telling me, you're asking me if I've seen a movie that's a piece of shit that's twice as long now.
Right.
So I'm going to watch 2 more hours of shit instead of just the 2 hours of shit.
But now it's Zack Snyder's shit.
Yeah.
Who is he anyway?
I've heard nothing but amazing things about it.
He's a director, and he always has to do slow-mo. It's like, and 3 hours later, you're like, okay. They took let me put it this way. They took the 2 fastest DC heroes and made it slow-mo. Instead of going like Marvel does, it's
I'm not into the superhero movies, but I checked into that movie just to because everyone was talking about it. And as soon as it popped up and said it was 4 hours long, I was like, nope, I'm done. I just can't do it.
No. They could have sped up all those slow-mo scenes and made it a 3-hour movie.
Well, what's weird is I kept hearing how great it was. I never heard anyone once mention that it was really long. So I'm guessing the people that liked it just really loved it and didn't even cross their mind that it was 4 hours long.
Well, here you go. Hold on. Here you go. Pete, what would you think if they had 2 more hours of footage on Rise of Skywalker? Would you watch it?
Would it just be long shots of that fleet of black starships? That would be awesome. If they did it, just added it there, that would be good.
It'll be at half speed, Pete.
The Zack Snyder 4-hour version. Light speed's never been so slow.
Your St. Louis Blues guys have just come back from being down 3-1 in the second, and they just scored with 23 seconds left to go ahead.
I'm watching it right here. I cannot believe it.
And what about Demolition Man? Did you guys see Demolition Man?
I have not seen that one, no.
Years ago.
Stallone,
Dennis
right?
Rodman and Sylvester Stallone, and Sting did the theme song with the remake of.
It's forgettable.
With the remake of
I don't remember it.
The Police tune.
Here's one nobody's brought up either, and I love it. I call it science fiction.
Somebody on the comments said that a little while ago, but yeah.
Did they?
Yeah, someone did mention it.
This
Actually,
right here is my number 5.
Yeah.
5 favorite ever. Star Trek could be 4, Star Wars is 2. So
and be prepared, because this movie will come up again in another show.
Pete,
that we're getting ready to do.
Want me to tell you a heartbreaking story?
Uh-oh. What?
Let me get my tissues.
Tron 3 times, and I've fallen asleep 3 times. I can't get past like the first 30 minutes. I don't know what it is.
But okay, what was the story about you getting to the wrong movie?
What's that?
You went. Who was it? Was it you telling the story about getting to the wrong movie?
No, we went to see a movie with my parents, and that was sold out. And the only thing available was Blair Witch, and none of us had heard of it.
Oh,
so we're like, all right, we'll go see that. And so we saw that, and it was funny. Like the first 30 minutes, we're talking to each other, going, "Is this real? What's happening here?" We couldn't tell if it was real or not. And it was like, it was the strangest thing. No, with Tron, I don't know why. Maybe I'm just watching it at the wrong time, but I don't dislike it when I'm watching it. I don't know what it is. I'm just dozing off.
So like
It's Jeff. It's one of those movies that I'm kind of the same way. I love the movie. That's one of those weird movies. I love the movie, but I'm not. It just doesn't. I'm not sitting there going, "Woo, got to watch that movie." It's more like if I gotta
it's just
check
so
it out for a reason, I'll watch it.
I like the storyline, and the movie's just fine. I don't know. I just fall asleep every time.
Something wrong when this puts you to sleep and this up you up.
I know.
That's a good point.
The slowest movie in mankind.
Good call.
All right,
I'm all fired up for it.
That's what I was saying.
How the hell do you get through a movie of people not even talking and you're like, oh my God?
Tron's
And you're watching
nonstop
Tron
action.
where that's all they do is talk and shove people around and you're like,
When you go on a roller coaster, do you take a nap?
When I'm on the merry-go-round, though, I'm all
Yeah, those
fired
merry-go-rounds.
Oh, brother.
have you seen this guy on the merry-go-round? Oh my God, he's a trip.
I'm standing on that horse going, woo.
Stan, we got another guy asleep on the roller coaster.
Yeah. Jeez.
I'm determined to watch the entire movie, though, Pete, one day.
All right. That's the quest. And I'm going to watch the 4-hour director's or Zack Snyder cut of Justice League.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it with you, Jeff. I'll have a hot poker and some speed.
And like some toothpicks, man.
Get the riding crop that he takes with him on the merry-go-round and you sit beside him with that. Oh, you know it's getting good when you can't hear anybody over Celia laughing in the background.
Oh, God.
The riding crop on the merry-go-round.
Yeah.
Bob, get the touch-up paint. We're going to have to fix this. Guy's whipping this thing again, damn it. Which one, the brown or the black?
The guy wearing the Woody cowboy hat.
He's out there. There's a snake in my boot. Oh, the Hulk is totally sci-fi. That's absolutely right. I know that came in a long time ago, and I got to get down to some of the newer stuff. But here's one. Yeah, Rumble in the Bronx, Lance said. Look at this. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon has more meaning if you understand the Chinese.
Yeah, that could help.
Not as good.
So is that Legacy?
That is Legacy. I've watched
What
it
did you
once.
think of Legacy?
I watched it once. It was okay when I watched it. I had no real desire to watch it again. Like I could put Tron on right now and watch it and enjoy it.
And watch Jeff fall asleep.
And watch Jeff fall asleep. Just like a sedative, right? A glass of warm milk for Jeff.
I'm going to put it on in about an hour and a half, and I'll be good for the night.
Interesting thing in Tron, okay? In the movie Tron, you know how he's got that little thing bit that's beside him for the first half of the movie when he's in the computer?
Hey,
remember that?
Wait, say it again.
The little thing that is beside him called bit that just goes yes or no. Oh,
Yeah.
also started echo. That disappears after the crash because they're spending so much money in putting it into the picture. They cut it just strictly because of budget.
Wow.
Really?
Halfway through, yeah. That's why in the middle of the movie, like after that crash, all of a sudden it gets trapped inside the recognizer, and it's gone because they had all this work up to that point. Putting that into the movie, it cost so much money for them to do that. They just said, "To hell with that," and it was gone for the rest of the movie. It was written in for the whole movie.
Wow,
Isn't that kind of strange? I start wondering if maybe that's one of the underlying things that we don't like about it, that we're all of a sudden like, oh, wait a minute.
I'm not sure I made it that far in, though.
Do you remember
Well, you know what
they're flying?
What we have to do is we have to get together with Jeff and we have to promise him a merry-go-round ride if he makes it through the whole movie.
I think I need a group of people with me because as long as I stay awake, I'll be good.
We'll watch it together then. We need to do that.
Too late at night.
Oh, there's all kinds of little tidbits about Tron that they did after the fact. Well,
so how did they explain it in the movie that this thing is gone?
They just sort of, it was flying around beside him, and all of a sudden, like this force field come up between the two of them, and it just sort of zip, and away it went. I never saw it again in the movie.
Let's see that.
It's kind of like the dog in King of Queens. Do you know they do that in sitcoms? They'll try something.
They had a dog. I don't remember that.
Yeah, remember?
And they got a dog later in the show in the series.
It was the neighbors.
And then because that's what you do if the series is kind of going down. So you try to get him a pet.
Yeah.
And they put a dog in it. I don't even know how long it didn't last very long.
Easier to try a pet because if the pet just disappears, they never show it again. Like nobody really knows it. With the baby, when that goes away, it's like there's questions asked.
Well, that's like Wings. In Wings, I watched that whole series, and they at one point they sell the whole kit and caboodle, right? They sell it off to somebody, and then it's like the last season, he's like, I don't know, maybe I should just sell it all. I'm like, you already did that. It ain't yours. You can't even talk like that.
Maybe they thought no one was watching.
Well, it was the last season, and nobody was.
We were talking about some of the TV stuff, like Buck Rogers versus Battlestar Galactica. So I don't think it counts here. The movies, yes, I would say like your original movie, yes, those work. But the series, we'll talk about that. That can be a whole other thing we'll talk about. That can be one of our other nights.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody mentioned Predator. Anybody mention Predator?
No,
nobody at all.
I mean, that's
which one?
Well, initially Predator, the first one.
Yeah, Predator was mentioned earlier on. Yes, that is awesome film.
I love that flick.
Did anybody like Predator 2 with Danny Glover?
I liked it. I really did.
Okay, it wasn't. I don't know.
I mean, it wasn't.
The second one.
I didn't watch it for the Predator. I watched it for the whole action ensemble and the first one, the whole ensemble, the whole team worked real. I just thought it was great.
Yeah.
The second
one.
What about?
Let's see. What else did I have on my list? Of course, Star Trek is on my list. We were talking about that earlier. Guy basically was with Event Horizon, Planet of the Apes, Stargate. Lost in Space ended up being a movie. He's a big Lost in Space fan, but he was not a big. I put that on his list because he's a Lost in Space fan, but that goes back to the TV thing, and we'll discuss that another time.
Joey Tribbiani,
but he did say that the movie was lackluster, and
Yeah.
Have you guys seen any of the Cloverfield movies?
I watched the original one, and it was sort of like, show me the damn thing.
Yeah.
Like Super 8, I didn't like it. I
was so disappointed in Cloverfield because I had heard, obviously it was wrong, that the movie was based on like a disaster happened and they found phones or cameras and the movie was you were just seeing bits and parts from people's phones and it kind of made the movie out of that. And I was like, that's fascinating. But then I watched the movie, I was like, that's not what's happening here.
No, it's very Blair Witch,
Yes.
Thrown together footage.
And what was the Cloverfield movie with John Goodman? Did you see that?
Yeah, I just saw it not too long ago. It's actually pretty flick.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't really want to watch it because of the first Cloverfield, and was like, John Goodman, I'll watch it, and it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that movie. I thought it was pretty good.
What'd you guys think of Independence Day?
First one?
Yeah.
Only one. Really, the first one. The only one.
Yeah, I never saw the second one. I don't.
It was okay, but I didn't like the friggin' virus thing, and
that's what that's what blew it for my friend. He was like, I can't even watch it because they hack it with like with an Apple product or something. And
yes. So,
yeah.
You're like, how are you even gonna communicate with something that's not even
Yeah, that's. I didn't like that.
They just upgraded OSs. I mean, it could happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was though, man. So
what was that?
iPhone 12's out, so anything's possible.
Second one wasn't that great. Too bad. Yeah,
no, it was bad.
Planet 51
over the top in it too, although he's much less over the top in Independence Day than he is in real life nowadays.
Right. Right. John Carter, I guess. Who's the original author on John Carter?
Edgar Rice Burroughs.
What is it?
Edgar Rice Burroughs wrote the books, right?
Yeah, is that who did? Yeah, that's who did it.
Oh wow,
I did not know that.
Books are damn good. I read those.
Not the Muppets Take Manhattan, but the Muppets in Space. Now you're talking.
Or Pigs in Space.
Yeah, pigs in space. Pigs in space.
Spaceballs. Or was that one with?
Yeah, we're back to Stargate here too. God, I think I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
We'll get it the rest of the way.
Hey, Celia, did you like Megaforce? Celia, did you like? There's your answer.
There's your answer.
Tell us what you really think, Celia.
Did people pay to watch that?
See? Shitty movie, right, Celia? What about that guy with the porn face as he's coming in on the motorcycle?
Literally.
Yeah.
Poor guy. I think he
Like, dude, quit watching porn and see if your leader of your pack is getting in okay. You're like, no, he's doing what? He's doing loop-de-loops? Shoot his ass out of the sky, wiseacre.
I also thought it was really bizarre how they had a love story. They're trying to push a love story between two people who had never met each other, right?
Well, it's because of that golden hottie pantsuit he had. His big golden onesie.
I think he had camel toes.
They were in the desert.
We need to clip that. What was that?
And
148
and
words.
The toughest part about that movie is I really want to like it. I want to like it. I want to buy it. I want there to be a reason to buy it. But I watch that stupid scene and I just think I'm building up to this. It's horrible. So here's one for you guys. I know we haven't covered this one yet. And I finally read the book. And it was on Amazon for a while. You could watch it on Amazon. In fact, I'm going to look for it now and see if it's on sale because I really want to. It's one of those movies too. I want to know, Pete, if you like it, if you own it. I gotta know. Damnation Alley.
No, I don't know it.
Do you not even know it?
No.
Shut your mouth.
We've talked about this before, I think.
George Papard
Yeah, no, don't know.
Oh my gosh!
No,
but I recently read the book. I mean, recently. I say recently in the last 10 years. But I have owned the book for years and never read it. And I finally read it, and the movie is not a good representation of the book, because in the book, one of their main nemesis is a biker gang, and they never talk about that in the movie at all. There you go. Is that sci-fi right there?
Sharknado. Well, it's science gone wrong, that's for sure.
I tell you what, you got to do yourself a favor. What's that actor's name that's in that? That was from
90210.
90210.
Ian Zierling.
Yeah, and he was on The Apprentice.
And it's Ian, not Ian.
You guys have got to see that scene when he is up against somebody else for doing a bud, like the Limeritas and stuff. And they were talking about a theme song for that, because they had to come up with a theme song. And there was a musician, I think it was a musician, was on his team, and he wrote something, and this other guy was like, it was at the table, at the board table, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Here's one that I've never seen. You guys have probably seen it. Species.
I think I've seen it in the past, but
I know my friend, a guy really liked the original movie, and I've never seen it. And how about this sci-fi hilarity?
I love it. I really did like it a lot.
Oh, I like that.
Oh yeah, I thought that movie was good.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah, they played that well. I got to check out this Damnation Alley and see.
Coneheads go for an hour and a half and be funny, but it was. I think Heracles really sums up the show. Yo, I just came back. I'm so confused.
Welcome to You're Not Alone.
And Celia, Lance Jennings thinks that your laugh would make a great ringtone.
It's so hilariously sexy.
Here's my number 3 favorite. We're not going to get there if we don't. I got to say it. We haven't talked about this very much.
Blade Runner. Yeah,
Blade Runner.
I love it.
Love it.
It's never been one of my favorites. I get it and I own it. It just, I don't know.
This is the 5 Blu-ray set.
Oh my gosh!
Hell's bells!
What's on
Again, though, Jeff is part of this group, and it freaks me out. He hadn't seen the original, right, Jeff?
Right. You know, I started watching it today, and I ran out of time. I couldn't finish it.
But
yes,
he went to the theater and saw the new one.
No. I don't think it was Blade Runner. I think it was Mad Max. Is that the one where the guy was playing a guitar and he's on this car or something bouncing around?
Is that the new one? Talking about the new one?
Yeah.
Mad
Max. I can't remember.
Fury Road.
Yeah, I think that was it.
I got the sequel too, but
oh god, the sequel was just so lame.
Pete, what's on those 5 Blu-rays?
It's 4 different versions of the movie. There's the the original version, the Love Conquers All version, which is the one that has the happy ending,
the Scooby-Doo ending.
Yeah. Then there's a director's cut from 2007 that Ridley Scott did. And then I believe the other one is there's actually different versions. Like they added the commentary later on and took it out at different times. Like when they're showing the movie at the beginning of the movie, Decker is talking, like does a lot of narration, sort of like in an old detective show used to do. And there's also versions of the movie where all of that dialogue is cut right out of it.
Oh,
yeah. So it's very interesting. Like the different versions. There's so many different versions. There's really good articles online that talk about the different versions of this. And I read them on like one of the DVD channels or stations like, I can't remember. DVDtalk.com or something like that about all the variants. And that's when I picked this one up when it first came out.
That's cool. They have different versions of it. That's really neat.
And I'm sorry, I mixed up with the Love Conquers All version. It's sort of similar. The Love Conquers All version, and I have to grab this now.
That's what she said.
You know what's good when Pete has to get out of the seat.
yeah. You know, that's the deep cuts right there.
It's that one right there, Brazil. Because got the same type of thing. This is a Criterion collection with several different versions, and there's 2.5-hour versions and there's 1.5-hour versions where they've cut it, and there's dark endings and Love Conquers All ending, and it's very, very strange. But this is very similar with the way it ends with him and I can't remember her name, you know, the girl, Sean Young.
Yeah. Right.
So it's really interesting, this movie.
Brian F. wants to know if there's a silent film version on that Blu-ray.
No.
I guess you just turn the sound off.
You could.
That's it.
That's always an option. It's called the mute button.
Every DVD comes with that. Let's see. We have what else did I want to mention? The one other thing that I want to mention here too is that the toughest part about some of these DVDs and stuff is I would love to have a copy of Damnation Alley. And I probably should have bought it when it first came out on Amazon because it was cheaper. But now they have a multi-format that's like $25. And I'm like, I know I'm not going to enjoy it that much. So it's at least $22 because they have one that's used, but then there's a new one that's $20.29. But it's going to have shipping of $4 or $5, you know, who knows? But I mean, I just know I'm probably not gonna watch it enough for me to go, I think I want to spend $25 to have that little piece of nostalgia. I don't know.
Yes, I do, Heracle.
What was this? Free Jack. Remember Free Jack? That had that was Emilio Estevez too, wasn't it? And Mick Jagger was in that.
Yes, I remember that.
And Signs is one of my wife's favorite films, Jeff. That is definitely
the
definitely one of my wife's favorite films. That's one of those movies, if it comes on, she'll just sit there and watch it. Shawshank Redemption, same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great film.
Forrest Gump is like that.
And then this one, I never did watch it, but it looked kind of cool.
It did, but it got terrible, terrible reviews. I've not watched it, but it got terrible, terrible reviews.
Yeah. I think it's, and I would love you would think I would love those two guys together. More endings than Clue.
That's I love Clue.
Yeah, me too. My friend found it cheap at Walmart.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, we should watch that." I said, "You know what? Have you ever seen Murder by Death?" And she goes, "No." And I said, "Oh, we should watch that." I liked Clue better. Clue was a better film.
The acting in Clue was excellent. They were hilarious.
Yes.
They were all really good. From Tim Curry, all of them.
I still need to watch that. It seemed pretty neat.
Heracle wants to know if you still draw, Jeff.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I draw Tweener Dog still. Yep.
Have you guys said all your favorites now?
Yeah, pretty much. I think we could probably wrap it up. I think
What's your number ones?
Space Odyssey.
Space Odyssey.
JD, all right. I'm sorry, but I got to make a point on this. JD said that Blade Runner 2049 said they liked it a lot, but I liked it okay. But here was my point, and I thought, I'm sorry, Jeff, I thought that I had it right, but this happened when I went to go see it at the theater. There was a couple sitting next to us, and I was, and at the end of the film, the gentleman next to me goes, "Well, that was interesting," and I was like, "Yeah, I mean, yeah, right." I'm like, we just watched the original last night, and he goes, "Well, I've never seen it." So I'm thinking, number one, why the hell are you here?
Yeah.
If you've never seen the first one, why are you here? And if you've never seen the first one, how many fargan questions do you have right now? I mean,
really.
When you get 3/4, 7/8, 5/8, whatever it is, break it down the fraction that you want, percentages. You get 80% through the movie. A woman dressed in like 50s garb, or it comes out. I mean, aren't you like, who the hell is she? And how is she even relevant to your viewing right now? I mean, doesn't that come to mind? I mean,
yeah, you would think. It doesn't make much sense. Well,
I don't know. It just
Maybe
was
he
weird.
didn't know about the original movie till you said something.
possibly. Just went out for a movie and said, "Hey, let's go see this one." I saw it on TV.
Maybe he's just trying to get laid.
There you go. And maybe it worked for him.
The Lobster, do not see it.
The Lobster.
I did see The Lobster at the Tivoli.
I have watched the whole thing as well.
Oh, what a trip!
When did they make that?
Well, now I need to see this.
Colin Farrell.
Yeah,
A year ago?
in the movies I saw.
Not very long.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
The Lobster.
The Lobster.
The
That was
Lobster,
weird. That was weird, dude.
2015.
It's about everybody has to be a couple by a certain age, and if they're not, they have to go to this camp for so many weeks to find their partner. And if they fail to find a partner, they're turned into some sort of animal, and they get to choose what kind of animal it is. And this guy says they go into this when they get shipped off to this place to find their partner. They have to pick their animal, and he picks a lobster. And then it goes his adventures in this place trying to find a mate. Or I think it's even the fact that his wife died or something like that. I can't remember 100%, but it's a trip. That's what we put it as a bar trip.
Oh, nothing short.
Is it as strange as Human Centipede?
Oh, dude,
you
had to
that's
go
a
there.
whole different.
Yeah,
You had to go there.
That's science fiction.
Right. I'm
That's a
saying my
wrap
favorite
up.
movie before we leave, though. That's my
Pete,
favorite.
I thought you were going to pull out a Human Centipede DVD.
No, I'm not pulling out a Human Centipede DVD.
Oh, that's a great movie, Pete.
Yeah.
Clockwork Orange.
Yes.
Oh, look at this.
That is my favorite right there. Alex DeLarge.
It is? That's your favorite, huh?
Yep. Yeah.
Have you read the book?
I have not. Anthony Burgess? I've not. No. It's not a very long book.
No, it's not. No, I do have it back there, though. I'm going to read it. Wow.
What's the Easter egg, JD?
Yeah, what is that Easter egg? I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. I've seen the movie a few times.
Has a 2001 Easter egg? Because it's Stanley Kubrick.
Oh, has a 2001 Easter egg. Shoot, I think I do know what that is now that you say it. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Huh. Let me see.
Oh, album soundtrack in store.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh, it's a record sitting in a rack. There you go.
Right. Yes,
Very
and
cool.
I did see that. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Well, since I brought the whole show to a halt with Human Centipede, should we call it a night?
Yeah, I don't even want to know what you're going to come up with next.
I don't even go any farther than that.
I won't mention the second one.
Human Centipede.
Oh, shut up. Is that the millipede?
I think there's like three of them. I only saw the first one. There was like three of them though.
You saw the whole first one?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Watched
Well, then have you seen Cannibal Holocaust?
Oh,
No,
come
but you've got my
on.
attention, Pete.
You have not seen Cannibal
come on.
Holocaust?
I've never heard of it.
I have seen it.
Rubio de Rogo or whatever his name is an Italian-made movie about the film crew that goes down and to find the cannibals in the Amazon, and they go missing, so they send somebody in looking for them.
And they go missing.
That's pretty
No,
bad.
they find them and come back, or find something and come back.
I gotta watch that now.
Cannibal Holocaust. It is a classic.
I wrote it down.
The
Got that
director
in a
got
while.
arrested. The director got arrested for suspicion of making a snuff movie in Italy, and he was held captive for I don't know how long before they finally found the actors who were in it and flew them over to prove that they were still alive. It's interesting. It's interesting, yeah.
Wait, is that the movie or is that real life?
That's real life.
Real life.
After the movie.
Wow.
And then if you ever heard of Hobo with a Shotgun, which I've done a clip for and stuff,
we watched that
I've heard of it
several years ago.
And the music at the beginning of Hobo with a Shotgun is a tribute to the music from Cannibal Holocaust to start.
What we need here is a Cannibal Holocaust tribute.
On that note.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for showing up.
I just want to know, now that we've gone there, can Deliverance be sci-fi? I don't know. I just asked. I mean, he does. We mentioned the lobster, so he does want him to squeal like a pig. So, can I? So squeal like a pig. Well, can I pick something else? Can I roar like a lion?
So that's on your agenda this weekend, Celia. Movies this weekend are The Lobster and Cannibal Holocaust.
Cool.
And we've already seen Hobo with a Shotgun, so we don't have to watch that.
Can I just eat lobster while I'm watching Cannibal Holocaust?
You won't want to.
You won't want to. That's the last day you have lobster, bro. That's the last day.
That's tough.
Yeah.
All right. Pete, you want to take us out?
Thanks
for showing up, everyone.
Right on.
Yeah.
Go.
Welcome back to Go Game Go. So we'll be back next week, and hopefully I'll have Billy Sheehan on next week. So that's our goal.
Go.
Ready?